Which one didn't you understand, please?
No, sir.
Which one? Irony. As you missed the last class, so how are you gonna? I think you missed the last class. Yes, that's why you have asked that question. Okay, later on we'll discuss it again. Okay. Now we are going to start that. So welcome to everyone. And today we are going to highlight the features and definition of some types of poetry. You know that poetry has several types. So we are going to highlight few. First of all, lyric poem. What is it? Lyric poem. What is a lyric poem? Lyric poems have a musical rhythm. You know that some poems can be turned into a song. Can turn into a song. That is called lyric poem. Lyric poems have a musical rhythm. Musical rhythm. Then another characteristic, they are topics often explore romantic feelings or other strong emotion. Romantic feelings or other strong emotion. So not only the one features but also the other features. First of all, it should be the musical rhythm. Second one is the topics open. Topics means the subject matter of the poem must be of what? Romantic feelings or other strong emotions. You can usually identify a lyric poem by its musicality, because of musicality. One example we can give from Kazi Nazrul Islam. You know that his Kararoi Loho Kapat, it can be sung because it has musicality, music rhythm. But if you try to sing like a song, his Bidrohi, rebel, he cannot sing it. That's why Bidrohi should not be treated as a lyric poem. Those poems can be treated or considered as a lyric poem which has musical rhythm or musicability, okay? And it expresses what? It expresses romantic feelings or the other strong feelings. If you can imagine singing it, it's probably lyric. In ancient Greek and Rome, lyric poems were in fact sung to the strums of the accompanying lyre. So you must remember that from where what is the origin of the lyrical poem? You know that. It is what? For example, it's a lyre, it's a flute. It's a flute. So when some poems try to expose to the lyre, then they can understand that the poem can be sung as well. So that's why the poem is considered or the named lyrical poem. Is it clear? So the origin is what? The origin is lyre. And it's the word lyre, L-Y-R-E, lyre means flute. Okay? In fact, that is at the root of lyric. The Greek lyricus means singing to the lyre, singing to the lyre. Those poems which can be sung using with a lyre, that is called, those are called lyric poems. Is it clear?
Yes.
So what is another interpretation we will give later. First we can say that lyric poems means it has a lyric rhythm and it expresses strong personal emotions or other emotions, feelings of someone. Okay, you can try it to sing as well. And what is its origin? Origin is Greek lyrikos. Lyrikos means singing to the lyre, singing to the lyre. Lyre means what? Flute. Okay. Lyric poem, another definition. A lyric poem is a poem that speaks of personal and emotional feelings. Personal and emotional feelings. Traditionally in the present tense. It expresses in which tense? To the present tense. And with a song-like quality. With a song-like quality. In modern examples, much lyric poetry share the same rhyming scheme. Nowadays it has been changed. Nowadays it has been change. But once upon we have seen that the people are trying, the authors are trying to follow which pattern? The same rhyming scheme. You see that without having the rhyming scheme or the regular meter, you cannot sing it. It should not have the musicability as well. Another one, lyric poem. This is example of William Shakespeare's sonnet. Sonnet, remember the sonnet, odes, these are also lyric poem. Why? Because the sonnet, the ode can be sung. The ode and sonnet can be sung. It is one of the examples. Okay. Shall I compare thee to a summer day? Summer's day. It can there is a song. That's why it is called a lyric poem. Another examples. This is an example of lyric poem. It is written by Edgar Allan Poe. Now, Thomas, to know the dramatic monologue. Can anyone tell that what is monologue? What does it mean by monologue? Monologue. Can anyone give any example of monologue? Log means dialogue. Dialogue, speeches, words of someone. Log means here dialogue or someone's speech. Okay? And mono means single. Mono means what? Single. So, someone's a single dialogue. Single dialogue. A person will speak. For example, in the classroom, you can talk, you can respond, you can reply, you can ask me some questions. So it is not a dramatic monologue. It's not a monologue. Because sometimes I can speak, sometimes you can also talk to yourself, share yourself. It is not a monologue. Monologue means when someone will only speak, will deliver his lecture, deliver his words, but some other listeners must be silent, completely silent. No response is there. And dramatic. You know the drama means, in Bangla we can say that natak, which creates some suspensions, some curiosity, which starts from the middle, suddenly. When I'm seated starts. One example I can get. I'm delivering my lecture and you are listening to me. Suddenly someone enters the room and he starts gossiping with you. That indicates what? That indicates that the situation has been started dramatically or abruptly or middle of the situation. Without any kinds of previous introduction, it has been started. So dramatic monologue means when a poem starts at the middle of the situation, suddenly or abruptly, and there are only a single speaker. How many speakers will be there? Single speaker. He will or she will speak the whole poem or will speak the situation, but there must have at least a single listener. How many listener? Single listener. Or more than single listeners. All they are silent. All they are silent. That is called dramatic monologue. Dramatic monologue. As we have read, cover by Josimuddin, there you have seen a speaker. Who was the speaker? The grandfather. Who is the listener? Grandson. Does grandson reply, respond or speak at all? No. There he is completely silent. এখানে তোর দাদির খবর, when he mentions that, it indicates that the situation has started very abruptly at the middle of the situation. So that is called a dramatic monologue. Whenever you have read Hawk or Fairywala by Halal Hafiz, you see that there is only a single speaker, but there is no listener. He himself reveals everything. So that is not a dramatic monologue. So that is a lyric poem. Fairywala is a lyric poem. Well, that can be sung. Kosto nebe, kosto, horik prekam kosto. It means it can be sung. It can be sung. But there is not, as there is no listener, so that should not be treated as a dramatic monologue. Is it clear now? What is dramatic monologue? So a poem in which an imagined speaker addresses a silent listener, usually not the reader. He addressing. So when Ferriola, he is addressing. Here he addresses the reader, not the listener. There is no active listener. Okay. Examples included the Robert Browning, My Last Dashes. You will read it in future, where you will see that. The Duke, he intends to get married, remarried, and he summons a matchmaker. And he talks, who? The Duke talks from the beginning to the end. How, when his last Dashes died, who is responsible, and what is expectation over the next wife. He reveals himself, but the matchmaker doesn't tell a single word. That's why the poem is considered as dramatic monologue. In your syllabus, you will read Ulysses by Alfred Tennyson. That is a dramatic monologue, because there we will see that Ulysses, he himself speaks, but there are a number of speakers, silent listeners, and the poem starts at the very middle of the poem. That's why it is called dramatic monologue. Can anyone tell that what is the features of dramatic monologue? You shouldn't see that one. Can anyone tell that what is dramatic monologue? Just without seeing the board. What is dramatic monologue? Respond yourself. There is only a single speaker. Thank you then. At least one silent listener, or more than one silent listener. Then
it starts at the
middle of the incidents, middle of the action. Okay? Abruptly. Should be started abruptly. Okay? Then another definition we will see of dramatic monologue. A poem written in the form of speech of an individual character. Form of a speech. You see that ekhane tor dadir khobor darling gasal, it's an speech. Seems to be that he is talking with his grandson. Okay? Then it compresses into a single vivid sense of narrative sense of the speaker's history and psychological insight into his characters. So what he expresses, the speaker expresses his psychological reaction, psychological insight of his mind when he speaks. In cover we see the grandfather tries to expresses his insight, reaction, his insight, mind, feelings, how grieved his mind is. He tries to express because he has lost all of his family members, including his wife as well. Okay. So then the sense of speaker's history and psychological insight, where you have got in cover you have got these things. Then insight into the characters. Though the form is simply associated with Robert Browning, My Last Dashes as well. These are the examples. So another features we have got about dramatic monologue, that expresses the speaker's personal history, or the speaker's personal history and psychological insight. So 4 things we can repeat again. A dramatic monologue means a single person will speak there, and it should be started at the middle of the incident, or abruptly it should be started, and it will express the personal feelings about speaker's history and the psychological insight. Another definition I have collected, that is like this way. Dramatic monologue in poetry as known as a persona poem. Why persona poem? Here the created persona or the speaker, he himself speaks, shares many characteristics with a theatrical monologue. With a theatrical monologue. An audience is implied. Why it is called the theatrical monologue? You know that in theater, when the audience are present, the actors are presenting home the character, the actors and actress presenting the home, they are frequently delivering some dialogue. Similarly, in dramatic monologue, in front of him there is at least one single listener or more than one single listeners. Okay, more than one listener. But he delivers some dialogue. That's why it is called theatrical monologue. An audience is implied. Who is the audience? Silent listener. There is no dialogue of whom? Of the implied or the listener. And the poet speaks through an assumed voice, a character, a fictional identity or a person. Because a dramatic monologue is by defining one person's speech, it is offered without over analysis or commentary, placing emphasis on subjective qualities that are left to the audience to interpret. So I think is it clear now what dramatic monologue is? Is there any confusion? I think you can write what dramatic monologue is. Later. Okay. This is another definition and an example of dramatic monologue. Now we will read another types of poem, that is ode. That is ode. What is an ode? An ode is a long lyric poem. I already mentioned the ode is also a lyric poem. An ode is a long lyric poem. It means that an ode can also have the musicability or music rhythm. Okay, with a serious subject. Remember that lyric poem, ode, and sonnet deals with the serious matter, but the other lyric poem may not deal with the serious matter. They may have dealt with personal interest or the personal feelings or the trivial matter as well. But ode must deal with a serious matter. Ode must deal with a serious matter. Subject within the elevated style. What does it mean by elevated style? Elevated style means to write an ode, there must have some rules and regulation. If there are more than one stanza, each and every stanza must have the same lines. For example, in a poem, if you see that in an ode, there are 3 stanzas. If the first stanza consists 11 lines, second stanza will also consist of 11 lines, and third stanza will also consist of 11 lines. There should not be dissimilar stanzas. Okay? At the same time, if the rhyme scheme of the first stanza is like A, B, A, B, A, B, the second stanza's rhyme scheme will also be the same. Okay? A, B, A, B, and the third stanzas will also be the same as well. So this is called of what? This is called the elevated language. And another thing is that you cannot use some ordinary language. You must use the elevated language, royal language. Which are the royal language? For example, in the classroom, when I deliver my lecture, that is the formal language I try to use. I try to use some formal language. But you know that when I go home or when I mix with my friends or parents or outside of the class, I may not talk such a way what I delivered in the classroom. So if I deliver my lecture, what I use in my home, can you think that it will be influential for you? I think not. You may not be attractive. You say that Sir uses his own language, so I can't understand. Whenever we try to use some selective language, that is called what? Elevated language. So from the small definition, we have got some features. First of all, an ode is a long lyric poem. This is one. Then with a serious subject. This is number two. And another important thing. This is number three. The elevated language. Okay. You will read in future in the next semester. Ode on the Grecian art, Ode to Nightingale, Ode to Autumn. We will read in this semester. You will see that these are the ode as well. So, is there anyone any question regarding ode? Have you understood what is an ode?
Sir, I don't properly got it.
You didn't properly got it. Okay. Anyway, ode. First of all, ode, it is another type of poem. It is another type of poem. What type of poem? It is a long lyric poem. Is it clear? It expresses, deals with a serious subject matter. Serious subject matter, not the trivial things. What are the serious subject matter? Which will cover, which will show the interest of the nation. Interest of the nation, not a family, okay? So, I mean personal things whenever you express, that should not be called a serious matter. Whenever something deals with the greater interest of the nation or a clan, that is called serious matter. Another important thing, it should be expressed through the elevated style, elevated language. What is elevated style? It should have a regular form, regular rhyme scheme, regular meter, and if there is more than one stanza, each and every stanza must consist of the similar line. As I have already mentioned, we are going there. Another definition will go, then we'll show a poem as well. Traditionally, the ode is a lyric poem of ceremonious effect which embodies a complex thought or emotion. Embodies complex emotion or thought. Okay. So it is a ceremonious effect. What does it mean by ceremonious effect? You must know it. Ceremony, program, occasion. When you are singing a song, a poem on an occasion, it deals with the community or the clan. It means it is dealing with the subject matter of the group of people, not a personal one. Is it clear? Why it is serious? Because it deals with the group of people, of your community, of your nation. Another thing, embodies a complex thought and emotion. These are not dealing with the ordinary subject. It will have some inner meanings, inner feelings to motivate the whole nation, or the community, organized by deliberate argument, illustration or presentation. The ode is further characterized by impressive length, elevated diction, a serious or elevated tone. Tone should be also royal. It should not be trivial tone. Though frequently and occasional pieces, a piece written to honor a particular event or person, the form effect serves as a mode for philosophical reflection. So there are two main there are a number of types of odes, but how many odes are remarkable? Two types. One is Pindar, another is Horace. The Pindaric ode was often in praises of some victory. I mean what goddess and goddesses and their victorious things are written in the Pindaric ode and had a distance from not open, imitated by later writers. The type of ode written by Horace had a certain distance characteristics. So there is a difference between the Horatian ode and the Pindaric ode. Horatian ode and Pindaric ode. So what are the difference between these two types of ode? You see, less praise and more private reflection than Pindar. Stanzas of equal length and identical meter. A speaker in a particularized and usually localized outdoor setting. Outdoor setting means it's a greater interest of the people. Indoor setting means it's a private. It's a familiar, not a public as well. Okay. Then the speaker begins with a description of the landscape. With a landscape. Later on, when we'll read the poem of Autumn, we'll see that he starts with the landscape. Landscape means the description of the land. Okay. Then something is a landscape. Something in the landscape evokes a process of memory, thought, anticipation, and feeling, which remains closely interwoven with outer scene. Some other characteristics are like that. In the course of the meditation, the speaker achieves an insight, faces up to a tragic loss, comes to a moral decision, or what? Resolves an emotional problem. Next one. Often the poem rounds upon itself to end which it begins the outer scene, but in an alternate mode and deepened understanding, etc. You will read these things. Anyway, again we are repeating. We'll repeat types of ode. There are three major types of ode. One is Pindaric ode, another is Horatian ode, and third one is irregular ode. Mostly we are trying to cover only these two types of odes, but we hardly try to cover the irregular ode. What is Pindaric ode? The ode was named after the ancient Greek poet Pindar, because Pindar is the first poet who wrote this type of ode. That's why it is called Pindaric ode or Pindar ode. Okay? Who began writing choral poems that were meant to be sung at public events. So, Pindaric ode deals with what? Public events. As I have already mentioned that whenever you want to highlight the public interest, that must be considered as a serious matter as well. And strophe, antistrophe, and final stanza as a chord. So, in Pindaric ode, you will see that there are such segmentation. That is what? Three traits. First of all, the first is called strophe, and second portion is called antistrophe, and third portion, the final stanza, as called the ode. Okay? So his poems has how many portions? Three portions. Pindaric ode. First one is strophe, second one is antistrophe, and third one is the ode. Okay? The ode, not the stanza. Okay. Then with irregular rhyme patterns and length of lines. Horatian ode. The name of this ode was taken from a Latin poet Horace. Unlike heroic odes of Pindar, Horatian ode is informal. Horatian ode is informal, whereas Pindaric ode is very formal. So when it indicates that it is informal, it means that it deals sometimes the private issues as well. Horatian ode as well. Whenever something is public issues highlighted, that is called formal. Whenever you highlight something else, private, that something is called informal as well. Is it clear? Okay. Then meditation. These odes dwelt upon interesting subject matters that were simple and give pleasure to sense. Since Horatian odes are informal in tone, they are devoted of any strict rules. They are devoted any strict rules. So remember, whenever you try to something as informal, it means some informal setting you can give as well. And this is irregular ode. This type of ode is without any formal rhyme scheme. In Horatian ode and in Pindaric ode, there should have regular rhyme scheme, but in irregular ode, why? Because there is no regular rhyme scheme as well, and structure such as Pindaric ode. Hence, the poet has great freedom and flexibility to try any types of concept and modes. William Wordsworth and John Keats were such poets who extensively wrote irregular odes, taking advantages of this form. who? Wordsworth and Keats. So this is an example, Ode to West Wind. Okay, Ode to West Wind is called is a better example ode. Any question from your side? Anyone, please? Have you understood what is an ode? So first of all, what is a long lyric poem? It deals with a serious subject matter. Finally, it should have an elevated style. And elevated style means that should have regular rhyme scheme, and the language should not be ordinary language. It should be formal language as well. Okay. How many kinds of ode we have read? There are 3 types of ode. First one is Pindaric ode. Second is Horatian ode. And third one is irregular ode. Okay. In irregular ode, we have seen that there is no formal rhyme scheme as well. But moreover, we can say that Pindaric ode is regular and formal, whereas the Horatian ode is informal. It can be covered the private session as well. Okay. So from your side, any question? Any question? How many topics we have read so far? 3 types of poems. What are they? What are they? First one, lyrical poem or lyric poem. Second one is dramatic monologue. Third one is ode.